Well, welcome everybody. If you're watching this now, you're watching it just as I hit live on the stream, and we're getting started. It is Wednesday, November 30th, DirecTV Now Day, we're going to call this today. Today, if you haven't seen all the stories, and there sure has been a lot of, DirecTV Now hit the market, and it has been quite a busy day with DirecTV Now. If you got questions about DirecTV Now, if you got questions really about anything cord cutting related, about the site, about myself, I'm going to do my best to answer them. So please do my best, or please feel free to go to cordcarsnews.com Facebook.com. I always do that. Facebook.com/cordcarsnews. Find this video, leave a comment there because I know this video gets shared in a lot of places. You can join us if you're watching this on repeat every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We do this. So thanks for everybody who has joined us. We greatly appreciate your support of Cord Cars News. And I'm just going to quickly hit share across the interwebs and let everybody know we're here. I'm putting this out on our Facebook group, which if you are not a member of, check out Cord Cutting Tech Support on Facebook. It's a Facebook group with about 7,000 members now. They're helping people get the most out of their cord cutting experience. You may have a question, you may be able to help somebody with a question. You never know. So one last place to hit send this out to and let everybody know. There we go. All right, we are all set. Please post your comments and questions on the video. I will do my best to answer them. If I miss one, repost it. Facebook is kind of weird when I'm, as a host, I can't really scroll back through the comments. So I often miss them the way I do this. So if I miss a question or I miss a comment, please re-ask it or resubmit it, and I'll do my best to answer it. But let's take a look at this right now. CNN. Frank, I don't really understand the question. And Jason, yes, congratulations to the Buckeyes. Michigan, I think, outplayed you. I blame those refs. No, kidding. Good game. We're coming for you. We're going to get revenge. Robert asks, how is DirecTV Now? What is the interface like? Robert, if you have not gone over to Cord Cars News, on there is a review. It's my first impression of it. I have a YouTube video there with the interface. Few things. It takes a bit of Sling TV and a bit of PlayStation View, pushes it all together in one device. It's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some of the benefits of this, some of the drawbacks of that. Overall, it's good. It could be a lot better. A few things that are good about it. On the Fire TV stick, I picked that device specifically to test it because PlayStation View struggles so much on the Fire TV stick. Much better, much smoother streaming. But it definitely does have a few hiccups here and there. Not a fan of the some of the decisions, like for instance on the on-demand content, there's random episodes missing. You can have 1, 2, 3, and 5, but not episode 4, or 1, 3, 4, and 5, but not episode 2. So yeah, and for the record, DirecTV is down right now that we are recording this, but that's to be expected. Anytime new services come out, statistically more people will use it more heavily. You don't. If Netflix was brand new, you would all go there and pound it right now and give it unusually high level of traffic. So that's something to remember. Let's quickly fix my camera. There we go. Not sure why my camera was doing that weird box thing there, but hey, it's competition. Competition is good for cord cutters. I do think DirecTV Now could be better. But it is what it is. William asks, are you a beta tester for the Sling DVR? No, I'm not. I am going to inquire about that, though officially the beta has not started yet. I believe it starts very shortly. So as soon as I can talk about it, I'll be happy. I'm going to do a full video review of Sling TV's new DVR option that they're coming out with. I will say I did learn this, though. The only channels that will not be included in it are Disney channels. No big shock there that they are playing ball with Dish. Daniel says he tried it DirecTV Now this evening and he liked it. Once it adds a DVR, it's going to be even better. Yeah, the lack of a DVR coming out this late in the game was very surprising. DirecTV Now feels slightly rushed. There are a few things here that just don't make sense. One of my biggest complaints about DirecTV Now is the fact that you need to create an account before you can view a lot of the details. If you want to see channel lineup in different parts of it, you're just kind of stuck because it won't let you do anything really or get the information you want until you create an account. Todd, Roku support is coming first quarter 2017, so that could be in about 5 weeks from now. That could be, in a couple months. It's hard to say. Hamilton says Nexus player, My TV, or NVIDIA Shield is not supported DirecTV Now, but supported on generic Android TV boxes. That's kind of a misnomer there. Generic Android TV boxes typically are just running the cell phone version. The version on that is no different than what I'm running here with a tiny bit of skinning. This is my Note 4. I need to upgrade. So to say it's running on generic TV boxes, that's because they're just running the tablet version of most Android software. It's not necessarily that DirecTV said, hey, let's make these generic Android boxes work. It just said, they said, let's make Android phones work, and they do. I did read that you can cast from your Android phone to like an NVIDIA Shield and make that work. So people have had success with that if you want to use it. I would expect support for that to come shortly. William asks us, DirecTV Now include HBO Go? Yes, you can use HBO Go. Not HBO Now, but HBO Go to log in. And ABC, watch ABC, watch ESPN, and watch Disney, I believe, are the ones that included. I think AMC, somebody told me they found that they could log in with AMC also. But that is it for right now. Ryan asks, how much will the promo price go up on DirecTV Now? $35 for 100 channels sounds great. Yes, that does sound great. They say if you get it during the promo period, that $35 for 100 channels is good for life. But you have to maintain your payment current and never cancel. So if you ever miss a payment or you cancel, change, downgrade, you lose access to that, and the 100 channels reverts to what I think they intended to do, $60 for 100 channels. Here's a little inside baseball here. I don't have proof to this, but rumors have been swirling for a little back channel talking, that 100 channels for $35 was an accident. The CEO may have misspoken when he was at a press conference and accidentally said that when he meant that they'll start at $35 and in total the service will have about 100 channels. But it kind of grew a life of its own, so DirecTV said, oh, we better find a way to honor that, and they're doing that by offering a promo to get 100 channels for $35. So get in on that. I don't think they meant to do that, and I don't think that's going to last very long. That is a short-term promo. Sorry I'm drinking a lot today. I literally ate dinner like 5 minutes ago, and life has been just completely crazy. I didn't even have time to eat before this. I signed for the beta via the email page on Sling's DVR page. They asked to submit your email to, so they'll contact me in December. Yeah, Daniel, okay, I get what you're saying. Yep. A little while ago, if you go into Cord Cutters News, you can find all this, but cordcuttersnews.com, just search for Sling TV DVR. You will find a story in there with a link to apply to join the beta program for Sling TV's DVR. Sling, to kind of one-up DirecTV on Monday, announced that they're going to add a DVR before AT&T held their press conference, which, it's business. Cord Cutters, we love this. They're fighting it out. They're going to bring all of us as much features and channels and content as they can for the lowest price, because there's true competition in cord cutting. What we've always wanted in cable, competition is here. Unlike cable, where you had one cable option and maybe a satellite option or two, now we have 3 really good, legit options there for streaming live TV, with at least 2 more, probably 4 or 5 more serious ones hitting the market here in the next few years or the next few months. This is what we want. We want competition. They're going legitimately head-to-head, and they're going to give us, a head-to-head content battle. So we're going to win in the long run. Jason says, have you heard of any limits on Netflix offline content? Yes, not all Netflix content will be supported by that. It's going to be a hodgepodge, mostly Netflix originals to start with. Kind of sounds like they just got their first set of permissions to do this, and they're going to be rolling out additional content in the future. If you do not see the Netflix download content and some of the stuff like Orange is the New Black on your phone or tablet, this is only for phone and tablets to download Netflix. Go update your Netflix app. There's an update available today. Go get that and then try it. So check that out. Hopefully that helps you guys with that. It's kind of cool. I just came back from spending a week with family in Michigan, and the ability to go and watch Netflix on plane would have been nice for my daughter to download some of that stuff, and for my wife. So really cool that they're doing that. Ryan says, I bet when they add DVR, I'm assuming you're talking about DirecTV, it will make the deal void. Probably talking about the $35. I don't know. They did say, one of the things that was kind of like, why did you say this at the DirecTV press conference? That DirecTV came out and said, these are our prices. These are what we're charging right now for these packages. And we're probably going to raise the price when we add new features or channels. And I went, why would you say that? Why? I mean, what kind of business sense does that make? That just, boggles my mind sometimes what people do. But yeah, DirecTV has said that, we're going to increase the price of DirecTV now. Take it at what it is. If I had told you you're introducing a brand new product and you're laying out all the prices, and I want you to tell them that we're probably going to raise your price, would you do that? Would you just tell me, no, that's not a smart move? That's not going to make people want to subscribe to my system that I'm trying to be different from cable TV. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but that just seems common sense to me. Roger asks, Comcast Sports on Sling, when will that happen, and when will DVR function show up? Roger, the beta group for the DVR function on Sling TV starts in December sometime, probably in the next 2 weeks or so. As far as Comcast Sports Network, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It's been about 5 months. We had that little, it's here, because they had that channel pop up with Comcast Sports logo on many networks, which just turned out to be an accident. That was actually the NBC Sports, which is owned by Comcast also. Just an alternate channel of it. Daniel says, I worked 14 months for DirecTV. Dish and DirecTV really compete with each other heavily and try to one-up each other. So the fact that two satellite services are now offering this type of service is great. They will, I am sure, fight for customers and have some good service and promotions. Yeah, I mean, there's always been a little bit of competition there, and they, more than on the cable side, satellite really duked it out. I made the switch from Comcast actually to DirecTV 10 years ago now, and they were actually the last provider I ever had. And I will say, satellite, I thought, definitely seemed to be more aggressive in upgrading and taking care of customers because it was so much easier to just say, I'm going to Dish, I'm going to DirecTV, as opposed to Comcast, which is like, I'm either going to Dish or I'm going to Comcast. Yeah. So it's hard to say what this will look like. I will say this. I think that the future, what we'll see is the future of these services, we don't know what they're going to look like. Just because competition is going to drive them. When people find something they like, people are going to be able to easily move there. There's no long-term contracts, no buy-in, and it's going to force innovation. You already see that. DirecTV Now hits the market, and Sling adds a DVR, which is awesome. It's awesome for core cars. How did they get to offer HBO for $5? William asks. William, from my understanding, is they're basically not making any money off of HBO. Believe it or not, HBO is two things. That is the base cost that HBO charges cable companies. Whatever they charge on top of that is profit for the cable companies. Number two, not yet, but soon. The deal is not finalized. AT&T is buying Time Warner, who owns HBO. So they don't really need to charge $10 or $15 for it, because if they own it, that $5 goes right in their pocket. And they're not only getting that, they're getting you to sign up for a package to get it. It's very cable-esque. But yeah, they're willing to sell that at cost now with the idea that someday they will, when they own HBO here, probably, I'm guessing within the next year or so, that they'll be able to, just charge $5, make that money, and be happy. Todd, that's the tough thing about packages. It's the debate. Is our Sling TV, DirecTV Now, PlayStation View really cord cutting? I've always viewed it as a bit of a stepping stone that, people from cable are kind of moving this way. I use them mostly for sports. I don't really, sports and news, and I really would pay for it just if I wasn't for my job, just during football season. Past that, I think more people get these services almost like a stepping stone off of cable. Like, I'm not willing to go all the way. I'm going to go halfway and still get the content I want. It's cheaper. I don't get the device rentals. It's kind of an interesting, where does DirecTV fit into the cord cutting versus cable fight? But I will say that is cord cutting. So far, the quality of DirecTV's Now is better than PlayStation View and Sling. I was looking at it. I don't really think the physical image of the quality is any better there, Ryan. I think the image quality when they're all running at their high is about equal across the board. I will say that on the Fire TV Stick, which is the only device I have tested on so far, I do have the Apple TV and other ones I'm going to probably play around with tomorrow, but I would say the app is smoother than the PlayStation View. But I've had good luck with Sling's app. I like the interface, so I think they're consistent across the board. One thing I wish they wouldn't do is not run the channel behind your guide and menu, because that just eats up bandwidth. I'm not really watching it. I want to see the menu, but that's a pet peeve of mine. Hey everybody, I see that a ton of people just joined the Q&A. If you're watching this on one of the many shares that has gone out across Facebook, we're over at facebook.com/cordcuttersnews. If you find the video there, you can post a question in the comments. Or, put a comment about cord cutting the site. A lot of people are talking DirecTV Now, a lot of news. Netflix came out with the ability to download Netflix shows and movies to your tablet and your phone. And Sling TV announced DVR beta. So there really is a ton of news today other than DirecTV Now. But post your comment. I'll do my best to check it out. Ryan, Sling TV seems to run on the slowest one. They're on the slowest internet connection. You are right. They will downgrade as far. But when you crank them all up to their max and they all run at their max, if you play around with it, I think the bit rate, the image quality is better. I think Sling does a better job of compressing the data. But I think the image quality, at least in my experience, is very similar. Let's see how DirecTV Now handles a little farther down the road. It does seem to be sucking a lot more bandwidth than any of the others. So I haven't tested it, but it will be interesting to see what the gigabyte an hour rate is, because that could really negatively affect people, as data caps do affect about 60% of American ISP holders or subscribers. David says, with the saturation of the new streaming services apps, in your opinion, which ones will survive? I think there is room for 3 or 4 very powerful live TV streaming services. You look at it, there's Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix as the big dogs in the on-demand streaming service, and they do pretty well with a lot of smaller services out there. Hulu is definitely would like to do better though, and they're making a big play to get into live TV also to address that. So I think there could easily be 3 or 4 major services that are successful in this field. Somebody of this current group is not going to survive. DirecTV, PlayStation View, and Sling TV. Who won't probably survive here in 20 years? I don't know. You also have VidGo. You also have Google's YouTube effort coming out here soon. And we've also heard from a host of smaller players that they're going to roll out a similar service. A couple of those won't survive. Hate to say it, but Google, they have a weird habit of starting stuff and just dropping it. So who knows? Steve asks, do you know if DirecTV Now will be adding CBS anytime soon? I was getting some work done on the car. I was sitting in the shop this afternoon, oil change and that kind of stuff. And what is it? NBC's business channel, the 24-hour business one they have. I blank out on the name. They were talking about this situation. They said that CBS and DirecTV Now are in talks, but CBS, quote, is holding out for a better deal. Apparently, DirecTV is charging offering very slim profit margins on these channels. So it seems like CBS is saying, well, okay, you want to do this, great, but you need to pay us a little bit more. So we'll see who gets out there and who blinks first between DirecTV and CBS. Daniel says he believes that DirecTV Now has the best picture quality to me. Yeah. And he says it's really solid. As far as being solid, not that many people were really using it today. And we saw a little while ago it crashed when most people got home from work. So as far as it's going to be solid or not, let's wait. They launched during the day when most people are at work on a weekday. And when most people got home from work, the service crashed. So I'm going to wait and see how solid that really is. He says, I found View's picture to be subpar and the picture just looks to be soft. A lot of people tell me that. If you can, go into your settings, play around with the streaming quality. Turning off auto detect or auto adjust on that sometimes helps address that issue. So if you have a question or comment, again, I see a lot of people rolling in. Post it down here on Core Cars News. Facebook.com/CoreCarsNews. I always force a habit. And I will do my best to answer your question. If I have not answered your question, you already asked it, please repost it. I probably missed it in the rush here of all the comments and questions and everything happening. Mike says, I did my settings in the app for referring to the adjusting the quality of the image inside there. William asks, when is the new Roku interface coming out? I don't know. Roku, a lot of the talk of Roku's interface came from the fact that they rolled out new templates for their apps. So you notice a lot of Roku apps look similar, and that's because Roku has this great template system. And they say, here is a Roku channel. It is pre-made. You change some of the images, you change the text here, you attach it to wherever you're hosting your content, and you're done. And they rolled out a whole new series of these apps with new grids, and that's what those images you saw. And that led a lot of people, including myself, to say, hey, we know that there's a new interface or a new major update coming out because they've never done a beta before for an update. And we know that there's this new grid system here, so is this what it looks like? And when the actual 7.5 came out, the grid interface wasn't there. But that doesn't really mean it wasn't supposed to be there. New interfaces have a way of running into trouble. You look at like Windows 8 Windows 8 ran into a lot of issues, and they pushed a lot of features. Windows Vista ran into a lot of issues. So a lot of the features that should come in Windows Vista ended up coming in Windows 7. Everybody liked Windows 7. So it could be just that maybe that new interface got pushed back. Maybe they just wanted to update the apps and they really didn't intend to update the interface. I don't know. It's hard to say. Fingers crossed that they'll figure that out. Jim says, are the channels on DirecTV Now East Coast feeds or are they based on your time zone? I'm on the left coast and prefer the East Coast feed. That is a good question. I'm in Central Time Zone, so I'm used to seeing the East Coast feed. I would assume that they will adjust it to be in your market, but I do not know that. That would be a good question to reach out to them and ask. I'll see if I can find that out for you. I would assume so. All the other services base it off of where you're located. Kimberly asks, is SFN TV Now available to everyone at this time or just locals? Real quick, if you don't know what SFN TV Now is, it is a live TV streaming service that was wildly popular. I'll fix my camera. Similar to Sling TV and PlayStation View, it started with services like a $10 package for news, and you could get all the news channels for just $10. And it was around, they had to change the packages to make them bigger for a little while. And then they went off the air and said, if you don't live in Atlanta, fortunately, we'll have to shut down your feed. So that's, that was tough. because it was a service a lot of people liked. It showed a lot of promise, and for some reason it didn't work out. Unfortunately, at this time, it is still limited to just the Atlanta greater market. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. Bill says, is there any way of adding stars to other DirecTV Now packages, or does it need to be the all-in package? I think it's the gotta have it package, like Bill said. I have a whole list of every channel. If you go to corecardsnews.com, I have a full breakout of the channel and package list. You can find that on their site if you're willing to create an account. But if you just want it to see what that is, check it out over at Core Cars News. I believe it's in the gotta have it. I will say I think DirecTV Now kind of misses the boat a little bit with cord cutting pricing. I don't think a lot of people want to pay $60 or more, $50 for the stuff, especially when I think most cord cutters want two things when it comes to live TV. They may want access to, some of the bigger things like Game of Thrones or Better Call Saul, some of the bigger ones, Walking Dead. But the majority of people want sports and live news. DirecTV Now, not necessarily the cheapest way to get that. I think that's going to hurt them. I think they've outpriced them from a majority of the core cars who say, like myself and many others I talk to, where one of the big things that they want is the ability to go and have live sports. Well, if you're going to pay $20 more, it costs $20 more in some packages to get channels versus what Sling TV or PlayStation Vue would offer it. I think that's going to hold them or hurt them in the future. Jason says, for $35, DirecTV Now has 100 channels for a limited time. What is the comparison price for that many channels through PlayStation Vue or Sling? I'm not 100% sure. I am going to have a side-by-side of those. Please remember that is an introductory offer. Typical price for that package is $60. If you do sign up for it, you get to keep it, but you gotta be careful if you ever let a payment lapse, like your credit card expires, or you change your credit card to something and you didn't update your payment, you're going to lose that $35 pricing. So check that out. Nope. All right. Ryan says, I want the NHL network on Vue. NHL is on Sling. I will say Sling has really taken to the Vue recently. They added the DVR. They kept the Viacom channels. They really seem to be working hard to say, why are you with Sling or Vue? You should be with Sling, which I love. I love the fact that they're fighting it out. Danny says, I agree. The prices are too high. The Go package is a really good channel list, and I think it's a good choice for me, but $60 is too high. $35 is quite cheap. I think they need to meet somewhere in the middle, around $45. You know what's funny about that? I said this earlier, but a lot of people weren't here already. I have a sneaky suspicion that $35 for 100 channels was not meant to be the real one. That the CEO or somebody may have screwed up at a press conference when he was talking about that. He meant that they would have up to 100 channels starting at $35. The narrative, everybody ran with it, is that it was 100 channels for $35. So they said, well, we'll honor it for a limited time, and that's it. So I don't think that deal is going to last long. Get on it while you can, because it's not going to be here much longer. And let's see here. I got some questions over on the Facebook group. Yeah, if Sling gets a DVR rolled out, I will probably switch this, Ryan. Yeah, DVRs are a kind of a surprise to me. I think Sling's always there on demand content is a good idea. If they could really get it to the point where DirecTV does this now too with their Now service. If really every show that was new on that channel would be available on demand for a week or so afterwards, that's like our dream. You don't have to go remember to record it. It's just there. Have you hit play and pause? But they haven't seemed to be able to get those rights, so it seems like they probably were fighting for that. I don't know that for sure. I'm just inferring here. But they said, well, if you don't want to give us that ability to do what we want, why don't you just give us the ability to have a DVR? So they're doing that now. Um, Thomas asks, will we ever have true a la carte streaming package? I have Sling TV Blue and only watch content on half the channels. Is True Choice a pipe dream? Yes and no. We may get more. We're going to get more and more options to control as more of the competition comes. I think there's been some services have tried it. I mean, here's the reality of it. CNN, MSNBC, and many other popular channels would not survive in an a la carte world. There are not enough people that watch those channels to justify the cost. They would have to do severe cost cutting. So when Time Warner looks at it and they say, we got TNT, TBS, and Time Warner and all these others that are very popular, we could break them up and then have to shut down half of them. Or we could force them all to be bundled together and make even more money. Force you to bundle them together. Only when true pain reaches them, and when I say pain, I mean subscribers canceling to the point where they say, okay, we have to do something. Will that happen? I do think we'll get more choice, but I just don't think we're going to get true a la carte yet. We may start seeing where, like, hey, if you get a base package of, 20 channels or whatever, then for an X amount you can add certain channels. I could see that happening more than just saying it's a straight up, because so many channels just wouldn't survive, especially news channels, the Weather Channel, CNN, MSNBC, and so on. They just would not survive. Is Disney the main reason the Blue package from Sling TV only has one stream? Yes, Disney does seem to be the issue over at Sling TV. Disney was one of the early joiners of Sling TV. They jumped on board right at the beginning with ESPN and everything, back when the idea of live TV streaming like this was very new and unknown. And my understanding is their contract hasn't come up, and they haven't been willing to renegotiate midstream, maybe. I don't know, just inferring there. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's right. Orange is one stream. Blue is 3. I always confuse those two. Nate says, I've been with Tableau, the DVR company, the great cord-cutting DVR. They're one of the great DVR options out there. For 2 years, lifetime subscription. Any talk about new hardware from Nuvio? Nuvio is the owners of the Tableau DVR. Have not. They have done a really great job rolling out new software recently. I don't know. I've been very happy with the DVR. The new software updates, the Roku has really improved that greatly. So I think it's been good. I don't see a real reason to go change it, but I won't be surprised if they do. I haven't heard anything. I'll see them at CES in about a month. I'm going back to the Consumer Electronics Show. Got to meet them in person last year. Really nice people there. They're out of Canada. Great company. So if you're looking for a cord-cutting DVR, check out Tableau DVR, or there's a few other great ones. Just search my sites for DVRs. You'll find a ton. Disney ESPN is the main reason for both packages. Yeah, Disney's lack of willing to go to 3 streams is why it seems that Sling TV broke out into Orange and Blue. I'm sure Sling would love to get Disney in all 3 and then re-merge them into one package to pick from. Ricky says, I signed up for DirecTV Now's free trial, but I canceled right away because I still have PlayStation Vue. But I will reevaluate which I will go with over the next month. I'm very pleasantly surprised with DirecTV Now. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been very surprised about DirecTV Now's overall. Definitely areas they can improve on, but that goes for all the services. Tableau is an Xbox and Windows 10 app. Yep, Bill, they just rolled those out. Very good quality apps. Now on your Windows 10 laptop, like I got one, you can access your home antenna no matter where you are. Marie says, I was just reading about the DVR for Sling TV. It says up to 100 hours with no charge. Yeah, you ask if there will be charge if you go over that. I'm not sure. They did leave themselves some wiggle room. Maybe it's like, hey, 100 hours free. If you want more time, you can buy it maybe in blocks of 100. $5, gets you an extra 200 hours of recording. Really not sure. But, it's like Ryan says, 100 hours is a lot. But if you want more, you can get that. I remember my first DVR from Comcast did like 20 hours. And I think that was it, 20 hours. And then HD came, and it only did like 10. So 100 hours is a big improvement over, I remember my very first slow Comcast DVR. Yes, unfortunately, Sling TV's DVR will work on all channels except for Disney-owned channels. Disney, get with it. Let's get on the board here. You seem to be with everybody else. Let's get with Sling. I'm not sure what the issue is there, but let's get them some beer summit or something, and get them some wine, and let's work this out. If DirecTV does buy Time Warner, it probably is. That deal is probably a foregone conclusion, to be honest with you there. Time Warner HBO, isn't that bad news for other streaming companies? Yeah and no. I'm not so sure. It's probably not profitable enough to run those services or those channels just on DirecTV. I don't think AT&T will make enough money to justify the purchase. They're paying a lot of money for Time Warner. They need, and it's not cheap to run these channels to make content. So I don't think they're going to pull it from other services. The business economics of it just are not there. And if they do that, guess what? Comcast, everybody else is going to pull their content from them. So, which, that could be a worst case scenario. But again, that would put everybody in a position where like, hey, we don't have enough content here to justify people subscribing to our service. And then, the whole market will probably fall apart, to be honest with you. Which could be good for cord cutters because it could free up, everything the way we want it. We could see the cord cut. Let me back up here. Here's my cord cutting dream. This is what I would make. If I could make any cord cutting service, this is what I'll make it. A la carte shows, a la carte sports. Forget a la carte channels. You don't want the channels. You want the shows that are on the channels, the games. Imagine if you could say $100 a year, every single college football game. You want Walking Dead, pay us $5 and you get every episode of The Walking Dead. If you're subscribing to Sling TV for The Walking Dead, you're going to pay a few hundred, something, maybe $200 over the course of the season because you're paying at least 20 something a month for it. So, it's a lot cheaper if you can just go and get the shows. If I want to watch NFL, I can pay for the NFL. If I want to watch hockey, I can just pay for hockey. That's the future, and that's what could happen here. Amazon is already talking to many popular sports, including the NBA and others, about selling packages through Amazon Prime Video to watch sports games there. That's the foot in the door that I'm most excited about in cord cutting. DirecTV Now, Sling TV, PlayStation View, that's exciting. But the idea of being able to go to DirecTV or Amazon and say, I want Michigan football, Chicago Bulls, whatever it is, give me that, and then just watching that one game or that one sport and paying for just that is perfect. Because I could care less about baseball. I'm just not a baseball guy. And I'm, hockey, whatever. But football, it's awesome. And I think we're moving in that direction. I think that's the ultimate goal here. I just want The Walking Dead, WWE, and NHL. Well, WWE can get the WWE Network. That rumor is that's about to get a lot better. Walking Dead, if you're willing to wait a day, get a season pass on Amazon. That's the way to do it. And NHL, they're moving. Stuff's happening there. Fingers crossed. Nate asks, is Sling TV's beta DVR ready? No, later this month it's going to start the beta testing. Probably the next week or two. I should say later next month because tomorrow's the 1st for December. So, do you think NBC, ABC, and Fox will ever offer a service like CBS All Access? Well, they kind of do because they all own a chunk of Hulu. And so you could kind of say Hulu is like CBS All Access for them. Steve points out again, yep, Roku has announced, and so has AT&T, that sometime in the first quarter, a Roku app for DirecTV Now will come out. Now, that could be in just a few weeks in early January, or that could be a few months from now. We don't know exactly when in first quarter that will come out. Sorry, everybody. I literally ate a ton of food right beforehand. It's been a busy day today with the rollout, and I did not get time to eat dinner before this meal, or before this talk. Yeah, Daniel, I am hearing that too, that DirecTV Now is back online. What I think happened, and this is a warning sign, it's kind of similar to what happened to, with all new services. When somebody gets a new service, they use it a lot, and they pound on it. Everybody got home about 5 o'clock Eastern, started to sign up for the service, pounded on it, and it crashed. So fingers crossed that they'll be able to hold up. I think it may be next week too, Robert, but I don't have that confirmed right now that Sling TV will have that. But yeah, I'm monitoring up here some of the Twitter feeds, and people are saying it's back up. DirecTV Now, this is a question I get a lot, and I'm seeing some complaints about on Twitter, only allows 2 simultaneous streams. Some people are saying that it is getting tricked a few times, and a few of them are being able to do 3 streams simultaneously. But DirecTV Now officially is only 2, and most people are hitting error codes when they try to start a 3rd simultaneous stream. And that does seem to affect on-demand content as well. Yeah, Daniel, Sling TV was pretty bad at first. I don't think Sling TV expected it to be as successful as it was, to be honest with you. That was probably a surprise to them. Nate says, do any other Sling users experience picture flicker while watching fast action scenes like The Walking Dead? I see that sometimes in sports too, Nate. What it is the bit rate's jumping around. The quality of the stream is trying to jump around because it thinks your speed's moving. What I found to fix it, instead of having it set to auto adjust based on what it thinks your speed is, because sometimes it's thinking, oh, you got great speed, we'll put it up to Super HD. Oh, you slow down a little bit, let's go to HD, Super HD, HD, Super, and back and forth. Just go in there, set it to HD, and then that goes away. Flicker gone. Robert says, but if you use apps like HBO Go, you get another stream. Yeah, that's kind of how some people are trying to trick it by having 2 streams on the DirecTV Now app and a 3rd with another one. 2 things. Most channels don't support app login. And second, I'm hearing that DirecTV, it's not working for everybody. It seems like DirecTV is cracking down on that. Yeah, so fingers crossed that addresses a lot of the issues out there. All right, we're kind of coming up towards the end of the event today. Remember, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing Q&A here. Answering your cord cutting questions, helping you get the most of it. If you have any cord cutting questions, comments, or suggestions, post them here at facebook.com/cordcuttersnews, and I will do my best to answer them real quick before I head out. Just joined your session. You may have already discussed this. I've been using Sling on Fire Stick for a few weeks, and the buffering at times is horrible. Any advice? Tim, my advice for buffering issues is number 1, make sure you don't have a weak Wi-Fi signal. The number 1 reason that buffering happens is weak Wi-Fi. So see if you can move your router a little closer, play around with it, and check that out. The second, make sure you're actually getting the speed you pay for of your router. Sometimes routers go bad, and while your hardwired landline will give you the speed you pay for, but the Wi-Fi network is getting overwhelmed by the number of devices. So you may need to upgrade. Those are my 2 number 1 things to check. Weak Wi-Fi signal, make sure you're getting the speed you are paying for from your ISP, and make sure your Wi-Fi router is not overwhelmed. There is a point where, especially with cheaper ones, that they're only made to handle like 10 devices. Well, I got 2 tablets and a phone sitting right here. There's 3, smart TV, Roku, a laptop. Before you know it, you're over the number of devices that was meant to handle, and it just causes issues. Thanks, Nate. I really appreciate your support of the site, guys. Without you, I would be nothing. Cable has $1 billion or whatever it is budget for marketing. Cord cutting has us. So your support of the site is huge, and let's get out there. Let's tell people about cord cutting. Let's share the stories and tell people, hey, if you want to be a cord cutter, come here and find out more. That's the greatest compliment I can get from anybody. Just let your friends know, share the stories. Let's be the marketing team for cord cutting, and let everybody know that, hey, there's a better way, a cheaper way to get your content. What is the best to stream DirecTV Now? At Apple TV or Amazon Fire? I would pick the Amazon Fire over the Apple TV any day. I know you can get a free one if you prepay. I'm not a fan of the remote. I hate their on-screen keyboard, and I think it's overpriced for what you get. The Fire TV box is cheaper, and you get 4K. you get a lot more apps, and you get access to the #2 streaming service in the United States, Amazon Prime Video. So I would pick the Fire TV over the Apple TV any day. I will say the Apple TV app selection has greatly improved in the last few months, but they still lag behind Roku and Fire TV. I just noticed the Sling removed the coming soon from Comcast Sports Network on their website channel packages. Any news on that? You know, there was that little kerfuffle where a couple weeks ago, was reported and it was seen that the Comcast Sports Network logo appeared on some channels there. It was reported, and I think they removed it because people got excited. They thought Comcast Sports had come, and they removed it to probably eliminate confusion, to be honest with you. I'm hoping it's still coming. I would expect it to still come. Fingers crossed. Karen says, mention the Amazon support for cord cutters. Are you talking about their site that helps you become it? Can you tell me more, Karen? I'm presently using the Fire Stick for DirecTV Now. Runs great. Yeah. I used the Fire TV 6 second generation for my demo, specifically because PlayStation View struggles so much on it. Sling doesn't do too bad there, but yeah, DirecTV Now and the Fire TV Stick runs very smoothly. Great surprise after playing around with the PlayStation View. It really makes you wonder, why hasn't Sony fixed their Fire TV issues? Come on, Sony. This isn't difficult. DirecTV right out the gate was able to do it. So I hope that helped everybody. Last call, questions, comments, suggestions. Do you want to know about cord cutting? Know about cord cutters news? Let me know, and we'll do my best to answer them before we head out here in just about 5 minutes. But again, I want to say thank you to everybody. Cord cutters news has grown so much this year, and it's all because of people like you. I've been doing this coming up on 3 years now, and literally from a guy just in his house writing about cord cutting, now it's my full-time job, and that's because of great people like you. Cable has a full-time staff. There's hundreds of people that do nothing but promote Comcast, and hundreds more to promote Time Warner, and the list goes on and on. But for cord cutting, there's really just us, the community, going out and telling people. So I appreciate everybody who likes our posts, shares them, tells their friends to come and hang out with us. And we really appreciate every time somebody refers a friend, adds them to our support group, and on and on. So just a thank you to everybody here. Your support of Cord Cutters News has been huge and changed my life, and I could not say thank you enough. Thanks, everybody. So one last thing here today. If you are not a member of it, go check out Cord Cutting Tech Support on Facebook. Just search for Facebook for Cord Cutting Tech Support. There's a page there. It's a group. Has the same banner image as Cord Cutters News Facebook page. There are 7,000 cord cutters there. People asking questions to get help about cord cutting and people helping answer it. And it's really a great Facebook page to, even if you don't have a question today, but maybe you will in the future, to get help. There's really no tech support for cord cutting. When you get problems with Comcast, you call Comcast, and it's a nightmare. But what we have is a community that's going to help each other. And there's 7,000 people in cord cutting tech support. Just search Facebook again for Cord Cutting Tech Support, and you'll find 7,000 people willing to help you get the answers you need, and maybe you can answer somebody's question. Every day, hundreds of people are joining there every week, people coming every day that may be brand new, and they're saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, here's my question, and you could help somebody be a cord cutter. So check that out. Cord Cutting Tech Support on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. Hit join. I'll prove you. Tons and tons of great people there. Would love to see you all there. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. There's a typo below. I'm not understanding that comment. People are saying there's a typo. Where did I have a typo? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay. You know what? Life. I'm one person running the site. That's it. Just one person to do it all. Mistakes are going to happen. All right, I'll get that fixed. Thanks for pointing that out. Murphy's Law strikes again. Well, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving again. Sorry about the typo. I hate when that happens. We appreciate it, and go join the tech support group. Go add friends. We just topped 7,000 members today. Let's get that higher. If you don't know, we have a YouTube page, or youtube.com/cordcuttersnews. We just topped 10,000 subscribers on that today. So we're doing great. We're almost at 22,000 subscribers on Facebook. You guys are awesome. Have a great day. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. I hope I got everybody's question. If I missed it, post it in the Facebook group. We'll get it answered there. Take care. Go tell your friends about cord cutting. And I hope you all enjoy your DirecTV Now launch day.